One.
I think we're live. I'm not sure though.
We are live, guys. What is up, everybody? It is your girl, Nia, the video game her, and we are live again for Team Red Talks Nintendo. This is episode number 16, and we got a lot of good stuff to talk about tonight. Our main topic is going to be discussing whether or not the Wii U is just the Switch, the Nintendo Switch is actually Wii U 2.0, if it's just a reskin of the Wii U. So before we get into that, though, we're gonna start with some of our subtopics. Sean just hit me back just now. Maybe we can get him in. So we're gonna go ahead and start with a couple of our side topics before we get into our main topic. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about right now is we're going to be talking about the online for the Nintendo Switch. There's been a lot of unclear details. And that's pretty much the understatement.
It's a very mild way of putting it.
That is the understatement of the
year.
Of the year so far. We're only 24 days into the year. So we're going to be talking about the potential uses of the smartphone app that is purportedly the way that we matchmake and
according
do
to Reggie
and all the other things that we expect. According to Reggie, you know, that's the way that we're supposed to be doing our matchmaking and all that good stuff that comes with the online service. So we can go ahead and do this roundtable style. I've got Kuuppon and Alex here with me. Let me go ahead and let them introduce themselves. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Alex, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I was wondering when I'm allowed to talk about myself. It's my favorite part of the show. What's going on, everyone? ActivesiN here, and we're back for another week of Team Red Talks Nintendo. I'm sorry we're late. We're not usually late, but we're late because our guest, Game's Over Jesse, decided to bail and give us no notice. Thanks, buddy. Never met you. Now I hope I never do. But let's go. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about here. Of course, our main topic is the Nintendo Switch, the Wii U 2.0. And we got some stuff about EA and a lot of subtopics and the Nintendo third-party support and their launch lineup and a whole bunch of shit. So let's get going.
Yeah. All right. So, Kuuppon, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell the people what's going on with you.
Keeping it short and sweet. Kuuppon Stives here, your game diva. Let's just get started.
Alrighty, and as you guys know, I am Nia, the video game her. I'm going to be your host for tonight. So now we can officially get into these topics. So potential uses for the online, and I guess we could also talk about what we expect from the online as well. I could talk about this topic all day. Guys who are following me on Twitter know that I've pretty much been on my whole kick with this since last Thursday.
We didn't see.
Mention it, you know, in passing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and give it off to Alex since he's the first one on the list.
All right. So Nintendo's online. We don't have many details. Let me see if I can pull up what we know so far here. Nintendo Switch online service. It says it's a paid service launching in fall 2017. You will have a free trial period from March, which of course is when the console is launching. So from March until fall, which will be good because you'll get Mario Kart 8. That's a good way to test it out. And you'll have Splatoon 2. So we'll get to see if the network's any good before you pay for it. It's good that they're doing something like that. I like that they're doing something like that. I'm convinced we're beta testing their online, which is fine, I suppose, but at least we're not paying for it.
It's free beta test.
They say here we'll have online lobby and voice chat. According to Reggie, it's done through the cell phone app, which they have not showed us yet, and how it interacts with the Switch device. You do get a monthly game download. It is either an NES game or a Super NES game, but you do not get to keep the game, which is kind of bizarre. After the month is finished, they take the game back from you. I'm not a fan of that. I think that's ridiculous because on PlayStation and Xbox, you get to keep the game as long as you're a subscriber of that service. Hopefully they change that because that's kind of weird that they would take it away because it's just an NES game. Like, goddamn. And I think you get discounts on the games too, which is pretty nice.
Yeah,
I'm just curious to see the I'm curious to see the app at this point because that's the only thing we don't know about. Like, do you have to use the app for everything? Like to invite people to your game? Like, that's pretty crazy.
I heard today that you didn't.
That
I
would be
forget where I
better.
read
I hope
that.
it's not completely forced.
I heard that matchmaking wasn't through the app. I
Oh.
someone I saw it on Twitter. I forget who said it.
It was a NeoGaf post. I saw the same one.
Yeah, and I've actually heard, not to say that it's necessarily true or whatever. I've actually heard that the the game thing might actually be incorrect as well.
The taking back the
That you
game.
can
For the month?
Yeah,
taking,
I heard
yeah,
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah. I heard that it'll be like where as long as you still have the service, you'll be
Right.
able to keep the game.
Okay.
But I mean,
Yeah.
the thing of it is nobody knows.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that
I
is
mean,
the issue.
they gotta do something about that.
They got to make
Either a
that pretty
direct or
clear.
some sort of presentation or something.
for
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
because
sure.
like we don't even know the price yet of the online.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do
Yeah.
like a
Right.
complete direct on it to like give us the rundown of how much it's going to cost us, what we get with the services, and what to expect as far as with the the online app and all that stuff. So hopefully they do a direct. That would be the smart thing to do. Hopefully.
Yeah, and like we know they had
Yeah.
that patent for the achievement system for to have something similar like Xbox and Sony, but they haven't really talked about that yet. So hopefully they do implement that because we have the My Nintendo program, but as of right now, it's not that great. Like the prizes or whatever are just kind of weak
Meh.
at the moment.
little
there's obviously room for improvement there, so hopefully they actually
Yeah.
do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I just really want them to just clear the air already because the way that they kind of left it is like they kind of left it up to interpretation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I know I've personally been freaking out about it because the way that Reggie has talked about it, because I saw the Pro Jared interview.
Yeah,
and I
the Pro
also
Jared
saw-
interview, he's very clear. He's like, you'll do it through the app.
Yes, and that scares me because it's like if the app itself is just a companion app, and it works the same way that maybe Xbox Smart Glass works or the way that even the PlayStation app works, like I'm okay with that. To me, that's lit because you're doing more than you can do with Smart Glass and the PlayStation app. Like on the PlayStation app, it does a little bit more than Smart Glass. Like you can talk to your friends, like message your friends. You can do other little things that link up with your PlayStation, but you can't like make a party like with voice on the PlayStation app. So if it's a companion app, like they're ahead of the curve, you know what I mean? And I think that's pretty awesome. I just wish that they would talk about it more, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it over to Kuuppon. And we could also kind of talk about what we want, what it is that we want from the online service in general.
Okay, so the number one thing that I'm curious about is, are we getting the same kind of service that we got for the Wii U, and is it being rolled over into the Switch? Because I'm not a fan about paying for what we already had. That was free. I'm not a
Right.
fan of that. So hopefully they clear that up and explain to us that they have a completely different servers, something going on over there. I don't know all the techies, jargon or whatever, but hopefully they
Right.
get to that. We understand what that is. The price, I just want to know, is the price going to be reasonable for what we're getting? Let's just assume they keep that whole you get a game for a month and then you take it away. I'm not about paying no $50,
Right.
$60 a month and you taking games away from me. Not having it.
Right.
You have various games that are going to require some online, like Mario Kart, Splatoon, maybe some others down the road. And if your online services aren't going to be able to handle those games, and we're paying crazy prices, I don't see anybody really paying for it. I've been saying it for the longest that we're going to have to pay for online services for this
At
time
some
around.
point, right.
Nobody listened. Now everybody's a little surprised. I'm not. I just want to make I just want to make sure that whatever comes out of my pocket is not going to be some trash some trash services. I have faith that Nintendo is going to go in the right direction, but at the same time I got to be very cautious about that because they have their quirks. I guess another thing I'm kind of concerned. The most thing I'm concerned about right now is the whole. It just seems like they're just not. They just refuse to tell us what's going on. It's like you had plenty of time to kind of tell us about that during the presentation. Just a
Right.
little bit of information, maybe not a whole bunch. Hopefully they'll do a direct. Like I said, I would love it just dedicated a full, 30-hour-long direct to just kind of go into what it is we're going to get with the service, how much it costs, what the service entails, who's working on that service. I'm sure DNA or whatever's got that stuff is probably focusing on that. So that's what I mean, they better be.
I mean, that's what they pretty much bought all,
that's what they bought 10% of that company for.
Right.
Yeah.
So
here's really my biggest thing though. It's like, to me, I'm kind of getting the impression from Nintendo that they don't even really know exactly what they're doing, So I think it's like,
it seems like DNA is like secret about it to Nintendo or something,
right?
Maybe.
Like kind of like
why?
Right, like kind of what Alex was saying earlier. Like, we're essentially going to be beta testing this because this is the first time that Nintendo has really taken online seriously, and I think they're still trying to work out what exactly they're going to do. But my only thing is that they're giving me this vibe, but at the same time, Reggie is giving these very exact, certain, circumstances on what it's going to be used for or what the experience is going to be like. That's the only thing that kind of worries me. But as far as like what I expect and what I want from Nintendo is, I want to be able to use the services that they mentioned to us because it all sounds great. But I want to be able to use it on my device. I don't want to use a separate device for online. You know what I mean? Like, I hear what Reggie's saying, that, it's easy to do things on your smartphone because everybody has a smartphone.
You know what's easier? Using it on the device you're already holding.
That's what I mean. It's like, the caveat to that is, first of all, not everybody has a smartphone. There are some people still rocking flip phones because not everybody wants to pay for data. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody wants to pay for luxuries that come with a smartphone, because everybody knows that when you switch to a smartphone, there's certain,
like, obviously on the go, you having the cell phone and making a mobile data spot, mobile hotspot, and using it that way makes sense, because obviously you're not going to have your computer running around with you at the same time. But at home, it doesn't make much sense.
At home, it doesn't make much sense at all. So I'm hoping that they really kind of redo some things, and I hope that, like, I've been paying attention to Twitter, and I've been seeing all of the things that people have been saying about the online service, and a lot of it has been very constructive. Like, it's not on the positive end, and people aren't just saying like, hey, do whatever you want, Nintendo, we'll pay for it anyway. There's a lot of people that are saying, hey, please explain this to us, this is what I expect if you're going to be, asking us to pay for it and all this and that. And that's great. I like to see that because Nintendo's getting the message, and at the same time, people are not being ugly about it. And I've been very vocal about it, but I haven't been ugly about it. But some people don't like the fact that I've been vocal about it in the first place. But we're going to move on because this topic doesn't really require all of this. But let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. So next, we're going to be talking about the growing list of launch titles for the Switch. I keep wanting to say
why? That thing's gone.
Don't worry. Give it time. We got to get the Wii U name out of our mouths.
Because of the topic of our podcast. So here we have...
It's because those goddamn Joy-Cons. All I can think about is the Wii and milking cows and shit.
Save that for the end, because we're going to talk about that. So right now, for the launch titles, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at one to the Switch, of course. We're looking at the Binding of Isaac Aftermath Plus. We're looking at Just Dance 2017. And of course, we're looking at The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Skylanders, Imaginators, and Super Bomberman R. But recently, there have been a couple of more games that have been pretty much announced for launch. I know that we all knew that I Am Setsuna is also coming to the Nintendo Switch, but we didn't know the time frame. So Square confirmed, was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday they confirmed that it will be a launch title. And not only that, but it's supposed to have an exclusive PvP mode for the Nintendo Switch online. So that's a little bit of a perk if you are a Nintendo Switch, or you're going to be a Nintendo Switch owner and you haven't had a chance to play this game already, and you need a little bit of an extra push as to why you should get this version versus other versions. So to me, that actually made me look at it a little bit differently, because if you look at the gameplay, it reminds me a lot of like games like Chrono Trigger and stuff like that. So to be able to experience something PvP, like be able to play that with like my boyfriend or something like that, like that's very enticing to me. Also, the Tomorrow Corporation announced they're going to be having Human Resource Manager, World of Goo, and Little Inferno are going to also be
those got announced today.
Yes, those got announced today, and I actually really enjoy World of Goo. I have that game on Steam, and it's a really cute little indie game to play. You know, one of those kind of indie physics platformer type of games. If you're into those kind of things, then you should be into World of Goo. Um, so as far as launch games, that's pretty much all that we have for that. Does anybody have any other games that maybe I missed that are supposed to be there at launch that have been announced?
I think we got them all. We
Yeah,
still
all
don't
of
know
them.
what day Fast Racing Neo is coming out. It's just slated for March.
Yeah.
I would assume that's going to be a launch title, but they
Yeah.
haven't confirmed it yet.
Yeah.
Fast Racing would be a really good launch title.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a good game. Actually, like I think indie games in general are good for the Switch because you know how they're just like so pick up and play, and that's kind of the whole
Right,
idea of the Switch.
yes.
So indie games on the Switch on the go make a
Yes.
lot of sense,
Yeah.
and Nintendo games do
Could you
as well.
imagine
Obviously,
playing Fast Racing on the Switch like portable? Like,
yeah, that'll be
you
fun.
know, like, oh, that would be so lit, dude. I would be so here for that. Um, yeah, that's just me though. I'll be there for that. Also, I think World of Goo would be a dope portable game
hmm
because I think the first time that Nintendo gamers even saw World of Goo, that was on what, the Wii?
Yeah, it was on the Wii.
Yeah. So I mean,
It's
hey,
on the Wii
that's a
U as
game that
well,
I could
right?
totally. It's not on the Wii U, but
It's
on the
not?
Wii U there is no Little Inferno's on Wii U. As far as Human
Right.
Resource Manager, I
Okay.
don't think that's on Wii U. I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's
on Wii U. I've
Steam.
seen that there.
Yeah,
Human Resource Manager is
Yeah.
on Wii U.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So those two are on Wii U, but not World of Doom. So that's pretty cool. So as far as the launch is concerned, I mean, it's still underwhelming if you're not really into Zelda. I mean, I care about Zelda, so to me, the launch is pretty lit because March 3rd is a party for me, basically. But to those of you guys who don't really care about Zelda, but you care about some of these other games, and I mean, hey, maybe that will be something that you could look forward to when you eventually get your thing pre-ordered or get it down the line and whatnot. So let's go ahead and move on to the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe content. And let me tell you, I don't know about anybody else. Like, I know a lot of people aren't really too excited about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because they're like, oh, we already played it, whatever. But in my opinion, battle mode is life.
Yeah.
Dude. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
dude,
Battle mode,
was
and
in
now
college-
you get 2 items instead of 1. That completely changes the game.
Yes. It completely changes the game, dude. But like when I was in college, my boy, like battle mode got me and my friends through. You hear me? Like, oh my God. Like playing the 64 version of battle mode and playing Double Dash, like, oh my God, that was life for us on very many occasions. So I'm gonna go ahead and run through what we can be expecting from the battle mode on the Nintendo Switch version of Mario Kart 8. So, according to these PR images provided by Nintendo Poland, we have a couple of icons here that represent 5 different battle mode types.
Oh, shit.
So we've got Shine Runners or Shine Thief. I know you guys remember that from Double Dash, which was a good mode. I like that mode. They also have Coin Rush, Balloon Battle, which is the mainstay where it all started, right? Balloon Battle, and then my favorite, Bomb Blast.
Oh God,
that is so good! Like my favorite battle mode ever. And then there's a new one, something that we have never seen before in the battle mode for Mario Kart, and that is a mode revolving around the Piranha Plant. We don't yet know the official name of this mode, but I imagine it's going to work similarly to the way that the Piranha Plant works in Mario Kart 8, where you tap the A button to attack with the Piranha Plant, and it either runs over your enemies or helps you boost faster so you can run into enemies and potentially make them lose their balloons.
Right.
So that might actually be pretty lit. We just kind of have to see whenever we get our hands on it. So there's also some amiibo outfits that are going to be new to Mario Kart 8. And if you guys are looking at my side of the stream, I'm going to try to blow this up for you guys so that you can see it. So let's see what they got here. There is going to be, some of these actually look kind of the same. I'm not even going to lie. To what we already have. So there's some There's one for Captain Falcon. There's one for Fox McCloud. Another one for DK Yoshi. One that looks like an amiibo related, an Animal Crossing related outfit, a Mario related outfit. One that looks like it's related to Splatoon.
Yeah,
I
that's the
think.
Splatoon one.
Yeah.
Right, and then there's Princess Peach.
No, that's the new Kirby one.
Kirby. I'm sorry, yeah. Kirby. Then you've got Samus Aran inspired outfit, and then you've got a Link related one, and it looks like there's a couple of other ones in this photo as well that I can't really make out right now, but I can leave the link to that in the description so that whenever you guys come back and watch the archive, you can check out those costumes.
It's different amiibo too. It's like this time it's the one from the new Super Mario Edition ones, like the Mario Party ones. Then there's of course the Inkling, the girl from Splatoon, her amiibo works. The new Link one from Ocarina of Time, that's for the new Link costume. And then Isabelle for that Animal Crossing one.
Right.
And the Kirby one is from the new Kirby, like the Air Ride Kirby.
Yay! I didn't even notice that. Oh my god, so cute. Sorry. It's pretty freaking adorable. So anybody want to add anything to this whole topic of Mario Kart 8 content? To me, that's like, I'm sorry, like maybe it's the fangirl in me, but this is legit, dude. Like that battle mode is gonna be like a whole other game.
Like let's be real. They could have easily phoned it in with this port. They could have just ported the exact same game with no extra features, no battle mode, kept the same garbage we had before, no new characters, and called it a day and charged $60. They could have done that. But they didn't. Yeah. They gave you all the DLC that was included in the Wii U version. They gave us a brand new battle mode that everyone was crying for because we didn't get it originally. We got 4 new characters. We got new amiibo skins. And we got those, I don't know how many battle mode levels there are, but you got several of those and potentially 5 actual battle modes. That's a lot of new content, and they're giving it all for like the standard price. So I think it's a very good deal.
Yeah.
Especially if you haven't got it before? Yeah, like if you're one of the guys, if you're one of the millions and millions who didn't buy a Wii U, this is a new game for you. So that's a lot of people. But even for people who did have a Wii U, I think it's worth getting again.
That's still a lot of content.
Because again, even with the standard racing mode, you get 2 items now as opposed to 1. So that's going to change the way you race. So definitely worth getting again.
I'm getting hit with blue shells more often.
Oh god, double blue shells.
I do still kind of
double blue shell.
But I do still kind of agree with some people that if you had it on the Wii U, there should be some kind of like.
I think if you had it digitally, at least you should get a discount of some sort.
Right.
But there it doesn't.
But I mean, how old is it? I mean,
it came out in 2014.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost 3 years old.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with it either. I mean, I want it.
Yeah.
It has. It's not like it's a game that like I hate to say it, but The Last of Us remastered. Like,
right.
It's not a game you play once and then you're done and you maybe dabble on the online.
Yeah, it's
like,
a game you play the whole
Mario
generation.
Kart, you could play the N64,
endless
play
content.
the Super Nintendo. Yeah, I mean, even if you played the hell out of the levels already, there's still a ton of additional shit. So
Very true.
It'll sell. It'll sell.
Of course.
It's kind of it's backwards from The Last of Us. You play your single player, and then you go online with your friends, and you play.
You play that for hours and hours.
Right.
And think about how many hours we put in Mario Kart 8 the first.
I mean, Mario Kart 8 Mondays coming back. So
Mario Kart 8 Mondays is definitely
coming back.
Get your Switches, get your stuff.
Switch gang.
Nintendo get the online correctly.
Yeah. One gripe that I do have about this new battle mode, though, is that they didn't bring back Block Fort.
Oh, yeah, Block Fort is the best level. But they didn't show everything, so it might be there.
That's true. It could still be. And there's no reason for me to believe that there won't be any DLC.
I was surprised they actually had a Splatoon level. I did not see that coming.
That's Splatoon level, though.
It looked really good, though.
I want a Kirby Air Ride level. Then that way I know Kirby.
That Splatoon level though looks just like it came from the game.
It looked like it came straight out of the game.
It looked good.
Looked very good.
Like
there's like, hey, you guys, we got this Splatoon level here. Let's just go ahead and throw that right on into Mario Kart real quick.
I was joking with somebody the other day. I feel like that whenever I get to that Splatoon battle mode, I'm gonna forget how to play the game because I'm gonna think that I'm like
You're gonna try and go in the
Splatoon.
ink and stuff.
Like, we need to ink
right,
the ground. Like, you realize you're in a cart. No, ink the
right,
ground.
right. Okay, so now we're gonna move into another topic that we have for you guys. We're gonna be talking about this is kind of just gonna be like an opinion related thing. It's not necessarily news, and we're gonna do this roundtable style as well. So the topic at hand is Nintendo basically being their own enemy right now because their biggest launch, which we all know is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, is essentially multi-platform. It's releasing on the Wii U as well on the same day. Do you think that that could be a detriment to Nintendo, or do you think that people will uh, kind of forget that that version exists? So let's go ahead and do this roundtable style. This is kind of an open-ended question of your thoughts. Alex, I'm going to go ahead and start with you. What do you think about that?
Uh, yeah, in a way they are, because there's what 14 million people have a Wii U. You gotta assume a lot of those people bought the Wii U for Zelda. Maybe they'll
Yeah.
get the Switch version instead. But when you look at that launch lineup of games, the main game there is Zelda. So if you were just wanting Zelda this whole time, you can save yourself $300 and just play Zelda, and then maybe get a
Yeah.
Switch next year, or when Mario comes out, for example, at the end of the year, and just save
Right.
the $300 for now. So there's always that potential.
Yeah.
Obviously, they want to do this as a swan song for the Wii U, kind of like their final game. They don't want to take it away from them, but like I'm in the I'm in the opinion that they should have canceled the Wii U version. Sorry, like it doesn't look as good. It doesn't seem to run as well. It's the major killer app for the Switch, and having it on another device, I see it as a problem. But whatever, it's coming out, and people are gonna buy both, obviously. But it would have forced more people to go buy a Switch on day one. So that's how I see it, anyways.
I got something for that. Okay,
All right, Coupon, go ahead.
so this is how I see it. So I agree with what Alex said just now is 100%, but at the same time, some part of me thinks Nintendo didn't make that many copies, so it's gonna be hard to find the Wii U version after probably that first
Yeah, but it'll
launch
be
day.
available digitally.
It'll be yeah, and you know some people don't want to get digital though on the Wii U because it's not gonna. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's gonna stick with you and go to the Switch because different servers, all that stuff. But yeah, I do agree with Alex. At the same time, I also kind of sort of don't see it as a big problem because not everybody because the right now the Wii U even trying to buy a Wii U pre-owned right now is still going to cost you close to almost the same price as almost
Well,
the same price
nobody's gonna run and buy a Wii U now. I'm talking about the people that already have
but
it.
I'm just saying I'm talking about people who are like not interested in getting the Switch right now at all, but they really want to play Zelda. They haven't gotten a Wii U. There's some people out there like that, and I'm just like, so you're gonna buy a Wii U to get the Legend of Zelda as opposed to just going ahead and getting the Switch and getting Legend of Zelda. But for those people who already
That's
have
got
the
to be the
Wii U,
smallest minority, though.
but the people who already have a Wii U, and if you were waiting for Zelda and you can get it on launch, then kudos to you, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, I see people kind of moving over to the Switch slowly but surely. But yeah, they kind of should have canceled it, kind of sort of. This just be like, hey, sorry guys, just it's for the Switch
Because like
only.
they took out the only advantage the Wii U version had, which was having the map and shit on the gamepad. They got rid of that.
Yeah, and so if you didn't, apparently you don't need it, so you should have just gotten rid of the Wii U version. And I know it would have been kind of a dick move because most of us were like kind of because I was in that same boat. I held on to my Wii U because I wasn't sure if they were gonna have it on launch, or whatever. So I was just hoping that I would be able
Yeah,
to
but
play
you know how
Breath of the
boss it
Wild.
would have been if Kimishima just got onto a direct. He's like, I'm canceling the Wii U version. Fuck you, pay me.
And then I would have been like, well, at least I got my pre-order in, so I'm good.
Go get a Switch, bitch, and got off stage.
That's the new term.
That's Kimishima. That's how he rolls.
Hashtag get a
Wow.
Switch. But yeah, I think they low key should have just been like, I'm sorry, y'all, but we.
I don't know, man.
That's just
I
me.
have a
That's
different.
just my selfish. That's just me being selfish and Alex being selfish. But whatever.
Well, it's not really selfish. Like I was gonna get it on the Switch regardless. I don't care if you get it on a Wii U version. I'm just
I was
saying
gonna get it on the
it's
Switch too, but
less
I was
potential
holding on to my
people
Wii
going
U
to get
for
your
that.
console on day one. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
this
know.
will
I'm
be
gonna
the
go
first
ahead
time I
and
ever got a day one console any goddamn way. So,
God. What?
ever. We'll see.
Let me
What's
go
your
ahead
opinion?
and pass it on to Sean
Oh.
before I give my thoughts.
Go ahead,
I-
Sean.
I don't think it's a big deal. Honestly, because if you're a Wii U owner, I think you have to look at a couple different factors. I mean, are there really the only people that are really affected are the people who say, okay, I bought the Wii U to play a new Legend of Zelda game, and I am cool with playing an inferior version of that Legend of Zelda game, knowing damn well that there's a better version out there. I think that segment of people is very small. I think a lot of people that they kind of accepted it. Like, yeah, shit doesn't always go the way you think it's going to go. Like, I'm sure when Nintendo made the Wii U, they didn't say, hey, this system is going to bomb. It's going to be our worst selling system ever. And people are going to be pissed at us and not really trust us for quite a while. Like, shit happens, unfortunately. I just think, I mean, the Switch version is going to outsell the Wii U version by at least double. And when you factor in how many Wii U's are out there, 13 million, I will be surprised. I will be very surprised if like the Switch version has 3 mil sold of that. If the Wii U version even has 1 mil. Like I just don't see that many people clutching onto their Wii U. Like, shit, you can go ahead and sell it to trade it into GameStop. Like, if you're that
Yeah, that's what I did for mine. They had a program where you trade in your Wii U, you get like $150.
Like, that's good money. Like, if you don't want to ever play the Wii U library again, which there's a lot of great games on there, but if you've played them all and you're completely satisfied with it, move on. Not everyone's a hoarder or whatever. It could Nintendo have sold more copies? Well, yeah, I mean, because there wouldn't be any other version, but it won't hinder it in a big enough way to even mention it, I think.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel too. I'm just like, I think at this point, people who have a Wii U are just so ready to move on that I think that they're willing to go ahead and purchase new hardware to get this new game. I mean, I guess maybe I'm speaking from my own personal feelings because don't get it twisted. Like I loved the time that I had with my Wii U. Like the Wii U had some of my favorite games. This generation, it has some of my favorite, or some of the best exclusives this generation, period. But I'm just so kind of over it that I'm just ready to like ship it off or put it in my closet and like move on to something new, And I think that a lot of people are feeling that too. And I think that, kind of like something that you guys have already said too, like the Wii U has such a minuscule install base and oh my bad. I was trying to read what y'all were saying. Like the Wii U has such a minuscule install base. I don't really think it's gonna put that much of a dent in sales, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think that it's kind of one of those situations, kind of like with Skyward Sword, you know what I mean? Like, remember how when Skyward Sword came out and it was like a really great game, a really great, it was a really good Zelda game, but the Wii had lost so much of its fire, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it was
people have
pretty much
forgotten
dead
about it
at that point that people completely ignored it. I mean, I don't want to say completely ignored it. It sold decently, but it doesn't sell as
Zelda
good
game,
as
it
I
didn't
think it
sell
could have
that
sold.
good.
For a Zelda game, it didn't sell well, right? So I think that for the Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, I think it's going to be a very similar situation for the Wii U. Nintendo hasn't really done the best job of sending the Wii U off gracefully as pretty much what they
didn't they do this though with
anyway.
Twilight Princess though?
Twilight Princess was
Twilight Princess had a gap between the releases, but even still,
it was like a month or something.
Right, but even still, people wanted to get the Wii version over the GameCube version because it's new hardware. People want to experience new games on new hardware. And I think that we're just kind of hardwired to feel that way. We want to play the newest, latest thing, And I think it's going to be the same way for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I don't really think, I mean, of course, there's gonna be some people who choose to stick with the Wii U version. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah.
Like they bought a Wii U for Zelda, so they're gonna get their Zelda on Wii U. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one way
But
or the other.
exactly. But I do think for a large majority of people, they want to play this thing on completely new hardware.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. I mean, and of course, you know, it looks better, it plays better, and that also kind of comes into it. But I think for the most part, people are just more ready to, you know, attach themselves to new hardware. I think that's kind of what it boils down to for a lot of people. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't really think the Wii.
There's a lot of people asking about the pre-orders for the Switch and everything though at GameStop.
I heard that.
I mean, so the people are still interested. They come in every day. Hey, is there pre-orders open for Switch? Like,
so
not right now, but I can put you on the newsletter.
I heard that the Switch version is killing it with pre-orders in relation to the Wii U version.
Are the Switch pre-orders done everywhere? Because I saw like GameStop said they're officially out of pre-orders.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, no more.
Oh,
so we gotta put people on a mailing list at this point.
That's
and
crazy.
You get like that. It went like it literally went out that day. That day, at the end of the day, it was gone. There's no more. Like, so if you weren't there that day, you weren't gonna get it on. You wasn't gonna get it
at my store. They only gave 3 copies of the Master Edition for Zelda. Luckily, I was number 2, but like, goddamn, that store only got 3, and that was like one of the bigger stores.
We only had 7 in our store for that one, and I was number 5. And like I had to go to my own store to go pre-order it because they weren't gonna let me get it through phone call. Because I'm calling them like, hey kid, nope, you gotta come. I'm like, fuck.
Damn.
They're like, no, we can't do that today. I was like, oh.
There's too many people out here with Master Swords. They'll kill us.
Y'all got me thinking about
my ass down there to the store. I'm standing in line outside. I see my home dude inside. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, you bitch. He's like, I couldn't.
Y'all got me thinking now. I haven't. Y'all got me thinking now because I haven't pre-ordered Zelda yet. I've only pre-ordered.
Oh, you can get the normal one. That's not going to run out of stock.
You can get the
it's just
normal
a special
one,
one.
Yeah, the Master and Special, they're gone.
I ain't got money like that, so the Masters is gonna have to be gone.
The normal ones are still up for pre-order for both Wii and Wii U and Switch. The standard editions, they're still up.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our last subtopic. We haven't made it to our main topic yet, so. After our main topic, we will be taking questions. So I want you guys to kind of sit on your questions for a little bit because I'm going to be asking again. I see some people are asking questions in my chat right now. So I'm going to ask you guys to just hold on to those because I can't take them right now because I can't really pay attention to the chat as much as I would like to. Just hold on to them. And then when it's question time, just start reeling them off. So our next subtopic is going to be about EA. I know that's our favorite company as Nintendo fans right now, right?
Unprecedented partnerships.
Unprecedented third-party support. Okay, so according to EA, they claim that Nintendo has been listening to third parties and Let me read this quote real quick. It's a statement from him. I'm reading this from a website called nerdmuch.com. And it says, according to this statement to Famitsu, so this is a translation from Famitsu. It was translated via Nintendo Everything. And it says, the custom-built FIFA experience is but a dip into the waters of the Switch. So if you guys didn't know, the FIFA on the Nintendo Switch is built specifically for that console.
Yes.
Suderland then adds that if the Nintendo console sells well, EA would be prepared to release more games on the platform. True to this, he goes on to explain that I only spoke about FIFA today, but our company structure lets us release all sorts of games for every platform. So we'll go wherever the gamers go. I think Nintendo Switch will put Nintendo at the forefront of the game industry once again. So I think there's some other things that he may have said in here as well.
Yeah, my article has more than that.
Yeah. Yes, it says Soderlund also praised Nintendo's renewed strategy of playing nice with third parties, as Nintendo's approach is quite different from anything they've done in the past. They've listened to EA, ActivesiN, and other companies since the beginning of the Switch's development. So we've been involved throughout the whole process. They teamed up with us because they wanted to guarantee the console would be successful. Doing business with Nintendo is very important to us. We like to bring more and more games out for everyone. And so this is pretty much the same old song and dance we've heard from EA before. Not saying that I don't want to be pessimistic about this,
Right.
but let's keep it real. They said the same thing during the Wii U situation, and the Wii U did not take off the way that everybody had hoped that it would.
Well,
and
they did keep their word. They didn't show up because it didn't sell.
They did
Exactly.
keep their word.
Yeah,
that's
all it is.
All they're saying
Yeah.
is, hey, if the system sells, we'll put a bunch of games on it because we go. It's like I said the other night. You can have a calculator that plays video games and it's a piece of shit, but if that calculator sells, 30 million units in a year or some
They'll
shit,
have FIFA.
everyone's gonna. That's all Western developers care about.
That's all they care about.
That's all they
I'm
care
gonna make
about.
my money back.
They just want to know how many pockets are there to get money from.
Exactly.
That's very true.
Even look at the Wii, man. People say, "Oh, the Wii had shitty third-party support for the type of system." For the type of system it was nowhere near the level of the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Yet you had games like you had a Silent Hill for it. You had several Resident Evils. You had Red Steel. You had
custom-made Call of Duty games.
You had custom-made Call of Duty games that had really good controls, honestly.
Exactly.
There was so many third-party games on it. You had all the sports games. All the sports games got their yearly releases.
Exactly.
Like, if people downplay the Wii third-party days, but shit, if the Wii U had that sort of third-party support, it could have been a completely different story.
Exactly.
But of course, Nintendo screwed that up as well.
Yeah,
so
it just didn't catch on.
I completely expect. Because I honestly think the system is going to sell very well just because of the pacing of Zelda, Mario Kart, and Splatoon.
Exactly.
Their first year lineup is excellent.
And not even including the fact that I think we all know there's going to be a holiday Mario bundle. It'll be $300, and that thing will sell out like fucking crazy. Yeah. I fully expect Call of Duty to come out this year on the Switch. Because what that does is you can people keep saying, there's no killer app for the Switch. Oh, what is 1-2 Switch? 1-2 Switch isn't what Wii Sports was or what Nintendo Land tried to be. It's not about that this time. They don't need a gimmicky software to sell the system. The hardware is the actual
the
gimmick.
Hardware is the killer app this time.
Sit on that though, Sean. Sit on that. That comes with our main topic. Sit on that for a little bit because that comes with our main topic.
I fully expect to see like Madden. And if not this year, I mean, there is a chance that it wouldn't be this year. Definitely next year. But I fully expect Call of Duty because you can have multiple people.
Call of Duty is perfect.
If you have a friend that has a Switch, you both have your own screen, and you could go and play on a team against someone online. Yeah. Like the possibilities are endless. So as long as the system sells well, like I think it will, you'll see all those companies. I wouldn't worry about it.
Thank you. But like I said, that bleeds into our main topic. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Right now, we're gonna talk about what EA has got to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Kuuppon. Kuuppon, what do you feel about EA's thoughts? Or the person from EA?
Pretty much the same thing. It's kind of like with the Wii U. I mean, if the system sells, if the Switch sells, they'll put games, I'm sure. If it doesn't sell, we probably won't see much from them. And that's just bottom line. I'm not reading too much into it, so I'm done. That's it. It's not that big a deal.
All right, Alex.
Well, they put FIFA. FIFA's a massive franchise, whether you like soccer or not. It's a huge franchise for them. It's one of their best-selling games, period. And for them to make a special variant just for the Switch is good. It shows that they are fully willing to support the console and use its features, provided that a console sells. This is more of a goodwill, a good faith gesture from them. And since Nintendo, of course, according to him, Nintendo was talking to them since the inception of the console, which is very good. They didn't do that with the Wii U. So that shows that they're changing the way they're thinking. They're trying to get third parties involved, and that's going to help them in the long run. That's a good thing.
Exactly.
And we already know that the console's easy to make games for. It's easy to port games for from the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So as long as this thing sells, you'll be fine. These guys have said as much. There's not much else to say really. Like they gave you a really high profile game at launch, and they'll be there if it sells.
All right, so I guess we should go ahead and go on to our main topic then, because this subtopic bleeds into a lot of what I expect our discussion to kind of go and even more in depth. So there's been a lot of talk on the internet, and of course, there's always a lot of talk when it comes down to Nintendo, and a lot of time it's warranted because Nintendo does a lot of things that don't really make sense. But then sometimes it's really not warranted because people think that certain things will happen just because the previous thing did something, but we already know that with Nintendo, sometimes it's not really always the case. You know, sometimes it's certain other variables that come into play with Nintendo that need to be discussed to kind of come down to more of a cohesive thought process on the things that they do. And that's not me trying to damage control it or anything like that, but I think sometimes people are like, oh, well, the Wii U failed, so that means that the Switch is going to fail too. That don't necessarily
Doesn't
mean
make any
nothing,
sense.
yeah, like Nintendo has had their successes and their failures. It just depends on where you're taking that from.
Because that's like saying the Wii was a massive success. Oh, here comes the Wii U, guys.
Right. So let's go ahead and move on to this main topic. And so what I'm whittling down to is that since there's been a lot of people talking about this across the internet, and I don't even really know exactly what that means. I guess it's just kind of left to interpretation. Is the Switch really the Wii U 2.0? And I'm going to let each of you kind of unbox that question in your own manner. It's open-ended as it can get, so no answer is the wrong answer. So we're going to start with Kuuppon. I'll start with Kuuppon.
Oh, actually start with Retro too, because I mean, okay. Yeah, because gotcha. I liked what he was getting at. I want to hear.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and go with Sean so he can continue his thoughts.
No, I mean, it's not, because to say that something is a successor would mean that it's following in the same lineage. And while at a quick glance you might get that impression, I don't think the actual system is. The system, if anything, is more what the Wii U was supposed to be. And maybe the failure to keep the market attached to the Wii was the reason why you got the Wii U in the first place. I remember reading way before, like when the Switch was first announced, or when it was the NX, and all they said was, we have a new system, it's called the NX, blah blah blah. I remember reading some like deep conspiracy theory shit, and like basically they were saying is that the NX was going to be what the Wii U was supposed to be. And the reason why the Wii U even existed was because of the fact that the Wii's market dropped off so fast. And it actually sort of makes sense, but I just think it's not, to say it's the Wii U 2.0 would mean that it's going to be a system that gets abandoned. Nintendo doesn't support it. For like the first year you get terrible games, and in the second and third year you do good, but no third-party games come to the system. Like you can't say that, because it's a different beast. There's a new person in power. There's a new regime with Kimishima, and you don't have to rely on the games to be the gimmick. You don't have to get that Wii Sports. You don't have to try to find that Wii Sports game. Like, they don't need it, because the system itself is what makes it interesting. It is a home console that you could bring with you wherever you go, and it's everything the gamepad wanted to be, but was limited by design and limited by technology. So I mean,
got a 20-foot
bring it wherever
range.
you go. It's got a gorgeous screen. There's a lot you could do with it, and a lot of people don't mention this, but it's actually a pretty big deal. You literally, so take a game like Street Fighter, take a game like Super Bomberman. I take that Switch out of the dock, I go wherever the fuck I want, and I'm sitting there playing it. I could literally be sitting on a bus, be sitting on a train, be sitting at work, and then take the controller off and be like, yo, you want to play? And you've got 2-player wherever you go. It's the only system with out of the box co-op.
Yes.
So, I mean, it has, the system itself has a lot going for it in terms of uniqueness. And you can say whatever you want about the power. You could say, oh, it's not up to snuff, it's not going to get the games, blah, blah, blah. You don't know that. Exactly. You don't know that. It has enough uniqueness to get people's attention. So I think it'll do fine. I don't think it's the Wii U 2.0, because the Wii U was a failure, and I don't foresee the system being a failure.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, Kuuppon, do you want to go ahead and give your thoughts? Do you think that the Switch is the Wii U 2.0? All
right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of context here. So being that I work at GameStop, a lot of people come into the store asking for games where they could play with a friend or a spouse or family or something, like 2-player mode. The Wii U, Switch. We gotta get this name off the tongue, but Switch. But the Switch, like, it comes out of the box with 2 controllers, with the Joy-Con being 2 controllers. You can play just about. I'm pretty sure most of the games we're gonna get on it are gonna be, co-op, with and family, spouse, all that good stuff. There's a lot of people right now, literally, like I've noticed it for the last quite a few months now, just been coming in. Hey, do you have any games for 2 player? And I'm just like, that's a novel idea. Do we even play 2 player games anymore? Like, there's a hot commodity for games where you could play with friends sitting next to each other and online, all that different stuff. And I think the Switch has that capability of doing all that, of filling that space that people are looking for. If we can get more games that from EA like that, with the sports games and stuff like that, and other third parties that can utilize that niche crowd that are asking for all the, I think it's perfect. So as far as it being a 2.0 to the Wii U, not really. I kind of agree with what Sean says. It doesn't seem that way to me. Like, it's a better hardware, and it has a whole different thing going for it, different game plan going for it. And sure, it has some. I mean, in the little presentation that they showed, they actually said it themselves that the Switch takes on the personification of almost every system they ever came up with up until now. It's a complete melting pot of all of that, and you can see it with the Joy-Cons and the Wii controller type of deal, the screen itself with the Wii U thing going on there, GameCube being able to carry it with you with the little handle and stuff like that. I mean, it just speaks volumes, and I think it'll do very well. I think it'll do a lot better than what we expected. We just have to wait and see, obviously, but I just don't see it as a 2.0 to the Wii, or this is what the Wii U should have been type of deal. A lot of people said. I said it once before, and then now looking at it and understanding it better, I'm like, I don't feel that way anymore. It's a complete moving away from the Wii U era. Sure, it has some of those things, but the Joy-Cons, since they spent so much time on that, you could tell that they have a lot of technology in that. I'm pretty sure, they're working with third parties. So Nintendo's opening their ears, listening. They're actually listening to us more too, as well. So I see a lot of different things going on for the Switch in the future, and I'm excited, but I'm also cautious. And I'm really more excited than cautious, though. I'm kind of excited to see what Nintendo will do that can be better, and I'm excited for the games, and I want to see how this thing works. And I ride on the bus, obviously, ever so often, so it's like it'll be interesting to just be on the bus or somewhere public, and somebody sitting next to me, they're kind of looking at me play this this game, and I'd be like, oh, here you go, you want to play? Be like, really? Yeah, sure. And we just go ham and play a game for a couple of minutes, and finally in the front of the line or get where we got to go. It's perfect. It's perfect, and I can see a lot of other people purchasing this system and actually getting on board and enjoying it. So it's bringing back the co-op, which is an area that I've noticed a lot of people are asking for. Like,
that's true.
A lot of people have been asking for the co-op. Like, where's the games where you could just play side by side? And Nintendo has always been good about that, but they didn't have also the online for people who can't play with their friends that are a little further away. So now you can actually travel around and make friends. You can also play with your friends online, or you can play with people in your neighborhood, or spouse and all that stuff. So no, it's not a 2.0. It's definitely something different.
Alex, what do you think?
I think it couldn't be any further from the Wii U if it tried. The only similarity, obviously, is that it has like a tablet thing.
Yeah,
basically.
That's the only similarity. It's what I think it's what they wanted the Wii U to be, but at the time they just didn't have the technology for it. And they got it right this time. But it's not just the hardware that's different. It's their mentality is different. They're going in on online this time. Looks like they're getting into esports this time. They're talking to third-party developers this time. They made their console easy to develop for this time. Every single issue that they had with the Wii U, they've effectively resolved with this, on top of making the console itself the gimmick, not the games this time. So I don't mean gimmick in a bad way. The device, when you see it, it's like the Wii. When you saw the Wii, you understood what it did. You got it. With the Wii U, when you saw it, you had no idea what it was. Still to this day, people think that the Wii U is just a tablet accessory for the Wii. But this time, people know it's a tablet device. You can play at home. I can take it on the go. I have local multiplayer anywhere in the world because you have the 2 controllers on the side. That's fantastic.
Right.
They've solved all their issues because of making it a hybrid. They're gonna bring in their 3DS user base this time. A lot of 3DS guys are gonna upgrade, going from a 240p screen to HD for the first time.
Right.
That's huge. For us, going from Wii U to the Switch, we're not going to see a big difference graphically, and the games are similar. 3DS guys, though, this is a huge jump.
Those 3DS guys, like, they haven't played HD Nintendo games yet.
Exactly.
So.
Well, maybe a few of them have a Wii U, but I think majority of them have just been dealing with 240p.
They're rocking with their 3DS to get their Nintendo needs.
Yeah, and now they're going to get HD gaming. They're going to still be able to take it on the go. Plus, now they can also play it on the TV. I think they're going to get the biggest upgrade out of everybody. So is this thing a Wii U? Not really. I don't see how. The concept in the tablet, I suppose, but the way they're handling it, the way they're marketing it, every aspect of this so far has been completely opposite of how the Wii was handled. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that when people say that this is the Wii U 2.0, they see the tablet, they see the motion controllers, and that's all they see.
And
right?
they also talk about the power, like.
And the power, right? And the power, of course. But this is one key thing that people don't remember for some reason. I remember it vividly because one of my favorite games was supposed to be Launch Window, and it wasn't Launch Window. So here is where, to me, they differ greatly. Like, the Wii U came out, it had Nintendo Land, it had Super Mario Brothers U, and then it had a lot of old gimped third-party games. And I think that people see that the Nintendo Switch isn't going to be launching with any third-party games, and they think that means that it's going to be another Wii U because Wii U started to die off in regards to third-party support and stuff like that. But this is what people need to remember. When the Wii U first came out, we were all impressed because we saw that big lineup of third parties and stuff like that. But then when we actually saw what we were getting with the third parties, they really weren't that good. And even though theoretically they should have been, because the Wii U, it was the stronger system than a PS3 and a 360, it wasn't really reflected in the way that the actual games came out. Some of the games lacked DLC, they lacked some online things and stuff like that. So they were not one-to-one games with their PlayStation. A lot of the time,
the frame rate was somehow worse.
And that turned a lot of people off to a lot of those third-party games on the Wii U. Not making excuses. I think that Nintendo should do a much better job of doing
advertising
quality
them
control.
too.
Well, advertising and quality control. Nintendo needs to do something to where if their version is not in some ways parody. I mean, of course, the Switch version is not going to have exact parody.
You can't be missing all the DLC and shit.
But you can't be missing DLC. You cannot be missing online modes because that is directly making your fans feel left out. You're not putting Nintendo fans within that ecosystem of your games, and it's not a good look, right? It's not a good look for them. It's not a good look for Nintendo. So I think that what's really going to be happening up to this point is that when the Nintendo Switch does ultimately get third-party games, because it's definitely going to sell more than Wii U did, they're going to be getting games alongside the other versions. So if an Assassin's Creed game comes out November 3rd, then the Switch version is also going to come out on the same day.
I don't have to wait 6 months like Watch Dogs.
Right. So it's that's the main difference. Also, a lot of people forget that with the Wii U, of course, with any other Nintendo system, people buy Nintendo systems for Nintendo games, right? So you launch with Nintendo Land, you launch with Super Mario Brothers U, and while those are good games, they're not really heavy hitters, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the next time that you actually have a legitimate exclusive, it doesn't come out until the following year. So really, that's kind of what messed up the Wii U. You had those games that came out at launch, and then subsequently after launch, you had nothing until the next year.
Yeah.
Because Pikmin 3 didn't come out until August of 2013? And then after that, we got Super Mario. What was it? Was it 3D World? after that. So it's like the way that the Switch is aligning itself right now was that it doesn't really have the best launch if you're not really a big Zelda fan. But look at all of the games that are slated for 2017. You've got The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for March. The following month, you've got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which a lot of people didn't get to play. So, subsequently after that, you get Splatoon 2. You're getting your Fire Emblem Warriors. You're getting Xenoblade 2. You're getting Mario Kart. Super Mario Odyssey. So Nintendo has got 2017 pretty much aligned to where there's not going to be very many months in between. Theoretically, there isn't going to be very many months in between releases, which is really what killed the Wii U. Like, yeah, there were a lot of other things that riddled the Wii U. Like, nobody really wanted the gamepad. The marketing wasn't really there. But what really killed the Wii U was the fact that it took
the consistency of games.
Long. Yes, it took way too long to get
we talked about this in the Facebook group. I think everyone here had kind of chimed in on it. That the Switch's first year lineup has games that the Wii U took 5 years to get.
Exactly.
All within the first year. And these are the big hitters. Zelda, Mario Kart, Splatoon.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly my point. Like, if Nintendo can keep the release schedule and make sure that these games come out in 2017, there is no way that this console, at least within the first year, is going to be anything like the Wii U. Because believe it or not, when the Wii U first came out, it sold pretty decently. It sold within 3 to 4 million consoles between the first 3 to 4 months, when all of those launch games were old and nobody cared about them anymore, and there was that huge drought. That's when you saw the stagnation of sales.
Oh yeah, my bad, Dave J. Xenoblade 2 also, and Fire Emblem Warriors.
Right. So that was when it all kind of went downhill for Nintendo, because they could never get that release window cracking. They couldn't get it right. And so I think that when people say that this is another Wii U 2, they're really looking at it at a very limited scale. They're looking at it more from a cosmetic standpoint, but they're not really looking at it from, the big picture. You know what I mean? Like, this time the Nintendo Switch has marketing out the gate, my boy. There's already a commercial for the Switch.
That commercial is actually really good too.
And the commercial is really good. They have a clear message this time around. Yeah. You know exactly what it does.
It's not a bunch of people playing music in a cube.
Yes. Of course it has the Joy-Cons, but this time, the gimmick of the system is a lot more transparent. You either play it in your house or you play it outside of your house. It's very easy to understand, right? So I just think that people need to just kind of chill on that and stop trying to give this console an expiration date before it even comes out. Because there's a lot more things to consider. Now, if the first year comes and goes and none of these games come out that has been slated for 2017, then we can write it off and say that it's a very similar start to the Wii U. But at this point, I have no reason to believe that. You got all of these big Nintendo games coming or slated for 2017. There's no way that this is going to be another Wii U situation. I think if anything, it's going to be similar to the 3DS. It might be a little slow.
You also have to keep in mind that regardless of how Nintendo handles their first party stuff, these guys have the same third party support that 3DS is getting. Like, all the Japanese developers are making games for the Switch.
A lot of these games that are typically coming to the 3DS are coming to the Switch, and that's something.
And that includes stuff like Monster Hunter and some other JRPGs. I always forget their names, but there's a shit ton of them.
Those Dragon Quest games, for one. Yeah. Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Shin Megami Tensei. They're getting that. You're probably gonna get. Yeah. They haven't announced it yet, but you're probably gonna get Monster Hunter.
Right, and even with Nintendo's own games, we didn't get a Fire Emblem on the Wii U.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're getting two, because we're getting the Emblem Warriors and a proper Fire Emblem game next year.
Exactly, we're getting 2 Fire Emblem games on the Switch, just out the gate. You got one coming for 2017. You got another one coming for the following year in 2018. And and considering that the Switch is a consolidation of both the handheld division and the console division, I have reason to believe that if they don't deliver, then that's shame on them. But I have no reason to believe that there's no way that Nintendo can't increase their releases, their game releases, because they've got extra hands now that are
Oh
making
yeah,
games for
like
one device. And you
there's
better
absolutely
believe
no excuse for them not to have a
there's no
better output
excuse.
of games, considering everyone's making games
Yes.
for the Switch and not on 2 devices this time.
And you better believe that if the Nintendo Switch sells decently, you're gonna see a slow trickle of Nintendo made games after this year. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. Because people are like, oh, what about the 3DS? Trust me, if this
Bro,
console
like that
sells
3DS is dead
well,
after this year.
All I'm
Yeah.
saying is if we see more directs and there's less 3DS showcases and more Switch showcases, that's hands down
Like
you're gonna
you know it's
you'll
dead when
understand.
Reggie was making a huge point. Like no, we're supporting the 3DS. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it. That's how
Like,
you
dude,
know it's dead.
Like he's all no. I'm like, yeah, right, dude. You're
Okay,
trying to push
Reggie,
everybody
you
over
got
to
you're
the
not gonna
Switch.
trick
We
us
got
again.
it. You know, give them the week.
exactly. Exactly. So we've reached an hour now. So we're gonna go ahead and take this time to go over some questions that we have in the chat. Alex, do you have any questions on your end?
I have not been paying attention, so let me go scroll through.
Well, I have a couple. So I guess if you are watching this stream from Alex's side of the internet, go ahead and start asking your questions. You can look out for them. So I got a couple on my end. I'm gonna start with do you really think Nintendo will win back third-party support? Anybody want to take this one?
As long as the console
Yes.
sells.
Because
Yes.
they already have Japanese support.
Mhm.
Right.
You have a brand new Bomberman in 2017 from Konami.
Who saw that
Konami
coming?
made a
Like
game.
honestly, who saw that
Konami-
coming?
Konami made a game, dudes.
I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell you again. So me and Emily Rogers, we talk off the record or whatever. And the Thursday before the, or no, like 2 or 3 days before the Switch presentation, she sent me a picture. And this was the list of games that was on this picture. Has Been Heroes, Fast Remix, Snipper Clip, Splatoon 2, Super Bomberman R, ARMS, Dice Gaea 5 Complete, Ultra Street Fighter 2, The Final Challengers, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Just Dance, Skylanders 1-2 Switch. She sent me this list and said, I found that this is being posted on 4chan, and no one believes it, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was 100% legit. And I told her, I said, if I see Bomberman and Street Fighter, I'll chop off my pinky and give it to you. So suffice to say, I owe her a pinky. Like third parties, Western, if you're talking about Western, they go where the money is.
Exactly.
They go where the
Yeah.
sales are. That's all I care
That's
about.
all they care
Japanese are look, you've got more Square Enix games already on the Switch and before it even comes out than you had the whole life cycle of the Wii U.
Yep.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you have to say. Drop the mic.
Boom.
Drop the mic moment.
Like the
right
Japanese
there.
devs are on it because they know Japanese people want a handheld device, and this is the ultimate handheld device.
Exactly.
So you're gonna get Japanese support like off the bat, and then as long as the console sells, which I think is gonna sell well, then guys like EA are gonna jump on board, Activision, and Ubisoft seems like they're perfectly fine with this thing. They're always talking high praise about the Switch, so they're already on board.
Yeah, if it sells, you're gonna see Ubisoft coming through again. All right, so questions, Alex, on your end or nah?
Let me see.
What? Heck, get link.
What is this? 3DS is
Make-
getting more
make-
support than Wii and DS during their final years. What's your take on that? Who wants to take point on that?
Money.
The Switch money. Well, I mean, we gotta see. I mean, what those pre-orders looking like though.
You've got 60 million 3DSs out there in the world. 3DS games are what, a maximum brand new of $40. So of course they're going to support the system. I mean, you can't really take a 3DS project and port it one-to-one to the Switch. So if you've already been developing this 3DS game, what's the point? Like a game like the Mario sports game, is that what we're calling support? Like, no, it'll be a fun game. It does actually have online for once, which is phenomenal because God almighty, they couldn't fucking do that on the Mario and Sonic games. But I mean, it's a throwaway title. Companies are just getting their final games out. It was a successful system. Successful. Look at the PS3. There's still fucking games that come out on the PS3, and the PS4 has been out for
Vita too.
It'll get smaller games, but the big stuff will be on the Switch going forward because that's the new device.
Exactly. That's gonna be the new wave. I keep trying to tell people. Like I was telling a bunch of PlayStation and Xbox guys on a podcast I was on a couple of weeks ago. Like, trust and believe. After 2017, if the Switch does well first year, you can expect Nintendo to weed out any game that they had coming for that system. And from that point on, it'll probably just be like smaller devs and Japanese devs, but themselves, they won't be supporting it much longer.
Yeah, because you can even see it now. Like, look at Fire Emblem Warriors. They already cut out the standard 3DS because the fucking thing can't run the game. Yeah. It's only on the new 3DS. They have reached the maximum potential of that device.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So I have another question from Cherryman Videos. Do you think Resident Evil is getting ported to the Switch? Well, they said that they have no plan
Resident Evil
to do so.
7?
If I'm to be running Resident Evil 7, I'm sorry.
No, they already didn't have plans.
They said that they're not. But to be honest, I don't want them to because it's already out.
Yeah, it's an old game by that time.
Right. I think that the worst thing Nintendo could do is just allow third parties to keep putting old games on their system. I think they should avoid it at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if Nintendo should have a little sit down, a little powwow with these developers and say, hey, if you want to put your games on our system, it needs to be the stuff that you're working on right now.
Right.
Right.
Current stuff. We don't need any more.
We don't need old.
We already got Skyrim, so no more.
Yeah, Skyrim's
right after
5
Skyrim,
years.
No more.
No more. Like we don't need no more.
I thought, but I thought it was going. I thought Resident Evil 7 and VR were coming to the Switch. No, was that?
No, Capcom said they had no plans.
Did I not see that on YouTube?
It's probably on one of those hype channels. I don't know. Here's one. What other announced games do you think will be moved to launch, and what launch games are you looking forward to? My guess is the Fast Racing Neo. I think that's gonna hit launch.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that too.
Yeah.
Just because the other games are kind of like JRPG games and stuff, so that's the only kind of racing game even on the Switch at this point.
Right.
I think Street Fighter will be the launch window.
You think so?
What is it? What's Street Fighter slated for right now?
It's not. It's just 2017.
It's just
But the game is done. I mean, they even talked about online modes and shit today.
Yeah, it might be launch.
Yeah.
And I don't know if ittle be launch. I could see the end of March. That's the fucking thing. Here's where Nintendo fucked up on their stupid little motherfucker. They say all their games release dates, but they don't say a single third party's release date.
It's so weird.
They're sitting there like, motherfucker, they don't have any fucking games. What are we gonna do? All these fucking games, when do they come out? We don't know. And then it's just like a third party is like, oh yeah, Bomberman. Yeah, that's a launch title. Why the fuck didn't you say that?
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but Street Fighter is pretty much done. And the online modes sound pretty like decent for a Nintendo platform.
Yeah.
So
you sold me on Ultra Street Fighter 2. Because at first I was like, why are you putting this old ass game on here?
Like,
I wasn't gonna get it, but I looked at it.
I get the mentality of why some of these guys don't want their game at launch, because to be honest, let's be real, it's gonna get crushed by Zelda.
Right.
Like maybe you want 2 weeks out, like 2 weeks away from launch, then I'll bring my game out.
Right.
Because at least you have a little bit of leeway. But like, I don't know, like something like Bomberman. Like, yeah, it's cool that Bomberman's coming out, but like, who's looking for that when you can get Zelda? Like, I guess you can get Bomberman.
Well, Bomberman. The one thing about Bomberman is it's, aside from I'm Setsuna's PvP mode, it is the only launch game to do online.
True.
So if you're looking for multiplayer shit, I mean, fuck Bomberman. Bomberman done been pre-ordered at my house.
I mean, I got Bomberman too.
that brings me to a secondary point that I was supposed to say during the Is It the Wii U thing that I forgot to say online. Nintendo is prepping online games early. So early on, they're embracing you into their ecosystem. And what's one of the main reasons why people like playing on PlayStation and Xbox and Steam? Because of the connectivity. It brings you into their ecosystem. So I think that it's a really smart idea to have games like Splatoon and Mario Kart early. You know what I mean? Like it keeps people attached to your platform or your ecosystem. That was one of the things that was kind of like a done deal with the Wii U. Like there was so many single player games. It was like once you were done with it, like that was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back, yeah.
So I guess like
All right,
I guess
so
that
let me
Hori
see.
fight pad is for Street Fighter then.
I
It
think
might
so.
be. Yeah.
But
So I have a question.
Street Fighter gets crazy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think they might have some more fight games too, considering that they did make a Hori Street, kind of a Street
I
Fighter.
think it will have more fighting games.
I think they were preparing
I still
for
imagine
fight
we're gonna
games.
get Tekken 7 on there.
I think we're gonna get
Yeah.
Tekken. I think so.
I don't see why not. It's
Like,
not
people
exclusive or
forget that
anything.
even though the Switch is underpowered, it has the tools that makes it easier to scale games down.
And like a
Yeah.
fighting
People
game
keep
is not hard to get on a
not-
console.
Yeah. And it don't need to be all that crazy.
Let's see. Do you think Pokken Tournament is coming to the Switch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a part 2. I don't
Do
think
people
they're gonna
still play it
port it
though?
over.
Because like, as far
Yeah,
as
there's
I
people
understand,
that-
that
there's a
online is
community
kind of
out
dead
there.
already.
There's a community.
There's
it's
a community out there.
It's a community. They still play it, but I think it's kind of like what Splatoon did.
Yeah, hopefully
It
it'd
was
be an updated one.
Yeah, it was a bare bones kind of a game, and I think they're gonna improve on it, and we'll probably see it maybe sometime next year, but not this year, I don't think. Unless
Right.
they just already finished with it or something and haven't said nothing. But it'll probably be next year. But I do see them being a Pokken Tournament 2, them
I can
fixing
see
the
that too.
mechanics on it, adding more Pokemon, more. The online will be a lot better, definitely. So
Yeah.
I can see that being a thing.
I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see Pokken Tournament too because like who makes that? Bandai Namco, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've been cozy with Nintendo too, so I could totally see them doing another Pokken. Let me see. I have another question from my end. I don't remember who asked this question, so I apologize. It says, "Is Nintendo back at their old ways by overcharging for the Switch's accessories?"
I think that's a whole new thing. That seems like a Kimishima "give me your money" thing.
Yeah. We're gonna get money some kind of way. If it ain't the games,
That's
be
clearly
add-ons.
the ways of a businessman. Like normally their accessories are kind of overpriced, but not this crazy.
They're not usually that overpriced though.
$90 for a dock is insane.
That's crazy. Like
It's like
I can kind of see because I mean like there's a lot of tech inside of these controllers, but I think they should have at least tried to be somewhat competitive. Like at least
The Pro
decrease them
controller's
prices
not
about,
too
like,
bad
$5 to
because it's like
$10.
$5 more than the PS4 controller, and you get like 35 more hours of battery life. But but like the Joy-Cons
That
are
dock is
crazy
especially,
expensive, I think,
like-
for what they are.
like I could see the price of the Joy-Cons and the Pro controller because like there is a lot of tech inside of them. I wish they were at least like $5 to $10 cheaper. But that dock, there's literally
no reason
for
that dock
to
should be $90. It's a piece of
All it
plastic
is
with
is a
a
fan.
USB
Yes.
port, a Type C
And a
port,
fan.
and an HDMI port. That's all that's in there. There's not even a fan.
You
They tore one down. There's no fan inside.
They took the fan out. No way.
That's
So there's
like
not even
$50 tops or something for that thing.
That's crazy. Where did they come up with that price?
There's no way that dock is
Like
that
the power is in the freaking the little pad thing. Like what is?
yeah.
What?
I don't know.
That's
Like
There, I mean, that's just Nintendo, though. They do
Oh,
whatever it takes to increase their profit margin.
Yeah.
take care of your stuff. That's all I can say. Take good care of your
Exactly.
stuff. You
If
get a
that
Pro
comes
controller,
by
don't
way-
break it.
So if that comes by way of charging a little bit extra for accessories and then never making your games go on sale aside from maybe like $5, like yeah, they gonna get that money.
yeah.
That's just how Nintendo does things.
Their games hardly ever go on sale. My God, there's still games today for the Wii U that are crazy, $50 still.
And if they do, it's like $5 off.
Yeah,
Like,
they're not
in
very
the
big on
eShop.
having sales. Unless the game bombs, because you can get Star Fox Zero for what, like $20?
No, that I'm sorry, Tears of the Fallen. That dock is expensive, my boy. Like a USB, I could buy
Please
like
don't
a
tell me
USB
someone's trying to tell me that dock is a fair price.
Yeah. They said the dock is actually pretty okay. The dock has a USB-C charging port on it and HDMI. My boy, look, I built a PC. I know how much it costs for these little dongles
Bro,
and stuff that you
come
put inside
on.
of your
Just
joint. Them joints
don't.
don't cost that much, my guy. We're not no
$90, bro. $90.
$90. Nah, I can't rock with that one. So we could do maybe like one or two more questions, and then we can get up out of here. We don't usually go over like an hour 30. Do you have any questions on your end that you want to ask real quick, Alex?
No, they're just talking about Joy-Con boys and shit.
Oh, that's how Alex goes down, yeah.
This chat be wilding out.
This chat be lit, though.
My chat gets a little ridiculous.
They be tripping. They be clowning.
They be tripping balls, dude. All right, so I guess I asked like 1 or 2 questions, and then we're gonna get up out of here. So I have a question that says, does Nintendo really think they can win back the casual market twice? I don't think they're going after the casual market.
I don't think they're going after it.
I think they absolutely are going after the casual market. That's why the Joy-Cons are there. I think they're going after everybody.
I think they just have everyone. Yeah.
I think that they're going after their fans first and foremost, but they're giving options to any outliers because
like I always say this is the device for Nintendo fans first. This is the device that brings handheld and home console and their casual market all together on one device.
Yeah. Because I think people get confused because when during the Nintendo Switch presentation, they spent 20 minutes on Joy-Cons, right?
Joy-Con
and
boys.
we were all kind of taken aback by that because we knew that the Joy-Cons were going to have all of that in there, but we didn't think that they would make it the focus of their presentation. But that being said, when you look at the overall marketing, they're not marketing Joy-Cons. They're marketing the system's portability and they're marketing the hardcore games for us. So when they show off the Switch in commercials, they're showing off Skyrim, they're showing off Zelda, they're showing off Mario Kart, right? They're not showing off 1-2 Switch. And while I think ARMS is more than meets the eye, they're not showing that either. Right. And what they're doing so far with their marketing. So I think that it's kind of like a sidebar for people like me and Kuuppon who like a little bit of extra sometimes, but it's not really their focus. It's just something extra that you can do. Because at the end of the day, the Nintendo Switch is a very traditional console, no matter how you look at it, because when you're not using the funky stuff inside of the Joy-Cons, what do? You put it on the grip, and it works like a normal controller. Yeah. Like that's just really what it is.
I want to hold it. I want to see how it feels on that grip because it looks weird to me.
It does look weird.
But I heard I heard it's comfortable though.
You know what it looks like? It feels like to me. It looks like it feels like a 3DS XL inside of like one of those little like holsters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, the little I know. Yeah, they have like holders for your 3DS. It looks like that.
The ones that are kind of like shaped like a controller, and like you put your 3DS inside.
Oh shit! I actually got questions now. I got 2 good questions. I don't know if you guys want to go through both here.
Oh lord. Okay. Well, look, we at 121 right now. You make the call.
All right. All right. Well, do you recommend neutral gamers buy the Switch if they only have money for one console?
If they are all about like Western type third parties and like if they're about third parties, they're probably not gonna want.
If you like Nintendo games and Japanese games, then yes. Then but if you don't like Nintendo games and you like third party games from Activision and stuff, then no.
No, it's pretty much your taste. It depends on your taste. Like if your taste is not Nintendo and like JRPGs and stuff like that, do not go with.
Even though if you don't like Zelda, you don't like video games.
That's what I'm saying.
So like,
sorry, Jason, it's a fact.
This is still kind of a secondary console, a supplemental console to like your PC and maybe another console, so you can get everything all in one area.
And what do you guys think about the Foxconn leak being very accurate? There was the guy at Foxconn who looked out the specs of the Switch and what it does and the dock and all that stuff, and pretty much all of it turned out to be true. Which is cool. Like, it's nice that some guy at Foxconn was nice enough to show us what it was gonna be. So that's how we know the specs of the Switch, how it's around 1 teraflop and how it downclocks when it's in tablet mode to save battery and all that shit. That's how we found out that the dock was mainly just a shell with the HDMI port in it and stuff. So it's cool. Like I wouldn't be opposed to stuff like that. It kind of takes some of the fun out, but at the same time, Nintendo doesn't share specs anyways. So
I don't know why people expected that. Nintendo never shows.
Yeah, and even when historically they've never told you about specs, so I don't know why people thought this was going to be a spec show at that event. Like I didn't think that was going to happen at all.
Right. Like even when Nintendo was making competitive hardware on the graphics side, they didn't release specs. They just showed you games, And I guess you could say in a way, I wish they would have done that. Like some kind of like tech demo or like some type of game that actually shows what it can do. Like,
Yeah, well, I
graphics
could have done
wise,
with
but at the
about
end of the day,
15
it's
minutes
like,
less of Joy-Cons, but that's just me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like they could have shown like the differences between like the Wii U version of Zelda and like the Switch version or something like that. You know, like
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
Like, here's Zelda on the Wii U, and this is what the Switch can do, and you see how much better that game looks, and you can take it on the go. God damn.
Exactly. Even though, you know, graphics don't really matter to me too much as long as Nintendo Switch has the tools to get most of the games, you know.
It's just crazy to me that the Switch already almost has more 60 frames per second games than the PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
That's so irritating to me. Those consoles are all 30 frames per second games.
Nintendo was all about performance,
Yeah.
you know, like out of like all of the three, they want to make sure for sure that the game at least
That's why their games
good,
are so
even
fun.
if that means no anti-aliasing.
Yeah.
Which,
whatever.
Thank God, it looks like there's anti-aliasing in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Oh man, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe looks so good.
Counts, but anti-aliasing,
It really does.
Yeah, I used to think like Mario Kart 8 was one of the best looking games, but like now Mario Kart 8 Deluxe makes that one look shoddy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm not like a graphics whore, but anti-aliasing is one of my things. Like, can we get some?
You PC elitists.
That's what happens, man. When you start to play on PC, you start to notice these things.
I understand. I can see it because that's all y'all been doing, just trashing everything else.
Because now when I see the
thing,
Wii U
though.
version of Zelda, I kind of like have to hold myself back from throwing up because now I've seen the Switch version.
See, I'm not that bad. Like, I think. Like, kind of like how we talked about in the last podcast. Like, once you've played on PC, like, graphics on consoles don't really matter to you.
Yeah, because they're always inferior.
Experience. You just want a good game.
Yeah.
So, like, when people say, oh, the PS4 Pro, and like, I don't care, my guy. Show me games. That's all I care about. And Nintendo was showing me games that I care about. So I'm like, okay, I don't care about all of that. I care about the games, my guy. Because you better believe when Fire Emblem Warriors comes out, me and my baby daddy Ike, we're going to be on it.
Yeah.
Don't on it.
He better.
Hopefully they use the Radiant Dawn because you know he got the.
Oh my god.
Anyway, reel it in. So that's gonna be the end of real talk. This is not Real Talk's podcast.
We didn't talk about no damn fuckboys. What are you talking about?
My boy, Real Gamer
Central.
That's on Thursday.
You know what it is? It's because Real Gamer streams every day, so I'm so used to like it's ingrained in my brain. This has been real, Real Gamer, blah blah blah. Shout out to Real Gamer. Shout out to my boy Real Gamer. So this is Team Red Talks Nintendo. You can catch us every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Sometimes the times do flex depending on our work schedules and things like that, but we try to keep it at least around 9 p.m. Central Time or 10 p.m. Central Time. And usually if you're following me and Alex in particular on Twitter, we'll let you know when we're going to have a show, because every time that we're broadcasting live, it goes automatically to our Twitters so that you guys can always stay in the loop. So thanks to everybody who came to the live stream. I had about 25 people on my end, so I appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you tell your friends, your homies, your aunties, your grannies, your daddies that we do this every Tuesday. If they care about Nintendo, tell them to come through. If they don't care about Nintendo, still tell them to come through because we accept everybody. You feel me? So I'm going to go ahead and let everybody do their outros. We're going to get up out this piece. I'm going to start with my boy, Alex. Alex, give your outros. Tell people where they can find you.
All right. What's going on, everyone? ActivesiN here. The YouTube channel is just ActivesiN. This has been another good show. I want to thank Sean for joining us last minute here. Thank you, buddy. That was a lot of good of you to join us. I hope you had fun. We talked about a lot of Nintendo stuff, obviously, because it's the stuff we like to talk about. And the Switch is around the corner. We got some good games coming too. Zelda, oh my god, it's so good. But yeah, make sure to check us out every Tuesday, as Neo was saying. And I'll be on Real Gamers Podcast on Thursday. And I can kind of just see you next week, I suppose.
Yes. All right, Kuuppon, go ahead and get your outro in.
Yeah, what is up? Thanks for having me again. It was fun. Love talking Nintendo. Always good. You can find me at Kuuppon Stives on YouTube or Kuuppon on Twitch. I'm usually streaming here and there. Stream today, a little bit of Overwatch, new Rooster, New Year, whatever. Gonna stream some Kingdom Hearts probably later. So come check me out. And yeah, thanks for coming also as well, Sean.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and give the floor to the homie Sean. Thanks again for being our last minute guest. You are just awesome, dude.
Either
Sean
that or
came through.
I don't have a life. So
You don't have a life, so hey, anytime you're ready to talk about some Nintendo, you're ready.
always around. Yeah, I'm always around. But no, thanks for having me on. I'm Sean from Nintendo Enthusiast.gg or RGT85. Who the hell knows where you'll see me next? Yeah, had fun. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thanks, man. All right, of course, you guys know me. It's your girl, TheVideoGamHer. If you are not a subscriber, make sure you come through. Your girl just reached 3K.
Oh,
The
shit.
slow grind is real. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't do a lot of the shenanigans that a lot of people do. So people who come to my channel, they just like me because I am who I'm is, right? So thank you guys again for coming through. Don't forget to follow each and every one of the people on our panel on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter, and like just let us know how much you love our content or what you want to see from us going forward on Team Red Talks. So that will be the end of our podcast, and we will talk to you guys later. Peace.
See ya.